Uncle Bernie goes after major corporation, gets schooled by Jeff Bezos, by Adam Casalino, Politics, U.S. News from MadWorldNews.com. Socialist Bernie Sanders has launched a crusade attacking the nation's largest retailer. He criticized Amazon, claiming they don't pay their workers a fair wage, but after he grandstanded, Jeff Bezos hit back hard. Wow. It's a war between two of the most powerful leftists in America. That's kind of like watching spiders fight. It's ugly and kind of terrifying, but just so wonderful to watch. Bernie Sanders claims to be a democratic socialist. That's like saying you're a friendly axe murderer. The Vermont senator has fought to introduce Marxist policy into the United States, claiming to want to help the working and middle classes. Uncle Bernie demands a massive increase in the size of government. Yeah, let's pay more people in government, as if we don't have enough rotten bureaus. Yeah, because that's always a good idea. Like most socialists, he despises the richest 1% of America. He never mentions to his mostly college-age and brain-dead followers that he is part of that 1% with his numerous houses and million-dollar income. Sanders' solution to America's problems always comes in the form of bigger government. Yeah. He wants our government to regulate everything, so much so that we wouldn't have a private industry anymore. And as in the case of every socialist country, as private industry dies, so does freedom of speech, religion, and the right to bear arms. In order to promote his socialist views, Sanders regularly attacks big companies that he's deemed the enemy. There is none bigger than online retail giant Amazon. The massive success of the website has made owner Jeff Bezos wildly rich, to the tune of $155 billion. That's far too much money for one person to have, claimed Sanders, so he launched a campaign to attack the company, claiming it doesn't pay their employees enough. But when Amazon personally invited Sanders to visit one of their centers to prove him wrong, Sanders was nowhere to be found. It's weird how that always happens. On Wednesday, Amazon made a rare statement in response to political attacks made by Socialist Senator Bernie Sanders, who has repeatedly claimed for months that the company has poor working conditions. We have been in regular contact with his office and have offered several opportunities for Senator Sanders and his team to tour one of our fulfillment centers, Amazon said in a statement. To date, he has still not seen an FC for himself. While Senator Sanders plays politics and makes misleading accusations, we are expending real money and effort upskilling people. Amazon continued, no one knows what it's like to work in one of our fulfillment centers better than the skilled and dedicated people who do it every day. That's why we are encouraging all employees to take Senator Sanders up on his request and respond with their actual experience. Source Daily Wire. Those are some pretty strong words. Keep in mind, Amazon is run by liberal Jeff Bezos, who owns the Washington Post, one of the biggest critics of President Donald Trump. For his company to go after Bernie Sanders, it's pretty significant. Amazon is accusing Sanders of playing politics and making misleading accusations. They don't feel at all worried about going after one of the left's darlings. It's not a huge surprise. When all is said and done, many of our country's biggest liberals are die-hard capitalists at heart. If government or politicians, even liberal ones, hurt their bottom line, they turn on them like a rabid dog. It's pretty telling how Sanders refuses to visit one of Amazon's FCs. He's the one that started this fight after all. If he really does care about the conditions of Amazon's workers, wouldn't he want to see them for himself? Well, apparently not. What does that tell you? It tells me Bernie is happy to use Amazon as a scapegoat for his political propaganda, but doesn't really care about their workers. He'll push rumor and fake news to back his socialist agenda. But when in danger of being proven wrong, he backs down, like so many other Democrats. Sanders responded by spewing more of his leftist talking points and pushing big surprise, more government regulations. Thousands of Amazon employees are forced to rely on food stamps, Medicaid, and public housing because their wages are too low, including 1 out of 3 of its workers in Amazon and 2,400 in Pennsylvania and Ohio, according to the new food economy. Sanders continued. Bottom line, the taxpayers of this country should not have to subsidize employees at a company owned by Mr. Bezos, who is worth $155 billion. That is absurd. Sanders continued in his statement by saying that on September 5th, he is going to introduce legislation to end the absurdity of middle-class taxpayers having to subsidize large profitable corporations, many of which are owned by billionaires, source Daily Wire. Sanders is very good at saying the right things. He claims to be behind the working and middle classes, yet he's been in government for decades. Why hasn't he been able to help them after all of this time? I beg to question that too. He's been in politics or government, so to speak, for decades, right? He hasn't done anything. Okay. And you know what Amazon is going to do? I mean, I'm not a fan of Amazon. I know that they're putting small owners out of business because they wanted, the small business owners can't compete with Amazon because they weren't there to make money in the beginning, just to destroy the lower, the small mom and pop shops. Yeah, but Bernie's idea of putting in more government is not going to help anything. So who pays for bigger government to control all of this? The taxpayers anyway. And you know what Bezos is going to do when Bernie is making all this stink about the workers? You know what's going to happen? Amazon is going to automate more so, and more workers are going to be unemployed because of these socialist tactics. Where was Bernie when Bezos was trying to build up to this level? See, you don't get the giant when he's already a giant. You get him when he's, starting to abuse the system. And yes, I do disagree with Bezos, yeah, to that degree. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a socialist, but come on now. We know they don't really take care of their workers. But if you start pushing them, they just go automated, just like McDonald's and all these other shops. So I don't really have an answer to what to do in this situation. But where were they when they were building up? Because they didn't, from one day to the next, go to 155 billion. I mean, So they're in politics, do something, but I guess it's not going to happen. Because they're just going to go automated. So I don't know what Bernie is talking about, and yet he doesn't go and visit the workers there, no. And Amazon, I hear that it's not good, the working conditions. So I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what to do because I'm not a politician. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe you guys have any better ideas. I don't know because I don't at this point. Let me know what you guys think, and thank you so much for watching.